Does it feel like just the Big Ten is good every year, and I feel like we kind of ask this question every year, but there's just no break. I mean, you come to Iowa and then Nebraska, and then do you feel like this year maybe it's more so than it has been even?
Feels a little bit like that. I don't know about the other coaches, but certainly every week we've faced a team that's either top 5 or top 10 for the last 5 weeks. So that makes for a pretty rigorous schedule. But out of that, I think our team continues to improve, and we've made some nice change along the way. So it's a double-edged sword kind of thing, but it's real, that's for sure.
What qualities does it require, Hugh, for a team to be able to week after week face top-ranked opponents and to be able to just maintain that really high focus?
Well, it forces a really high level of consistency from the athletes, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's it. You don't get to take any days off. You don't get to take any plays off. You got to bring it every night.
What kind of a role does that play in preparing a team for the postseason to face these kinds of opponents week after week?
Well, yeah, I think that consistency becomes part of the fabric of your team versus, we got to really try to pull one out of the bag here. I think you learn to manage the moment a little bit better than you would if you weren't forced to do that every week. But, you've got to balance that with the physical and emotional toll that it takes from having to put those kind of performances together week after week after week. So we're trying to figure out the right balance there.
You mentioned your team continues to improve. I mean, they've already shown us that they've got some depth and that they've got some resiliency. Is there anything yet that they need to work on or show you before you can kind of say, this is a really, really special group that can really go a long way?
Well, I think it is a unique group or a special group already. I just think there's all of these weaknesses that we see that other teams are going to try to exploit. So we've got to try to shore some of those things up. We've also got to try to maintain, if not augment, the strengths that we have in place already. So I think that's just part of the nature of a season, is that there's this need to really improve along the way. And every time we get into one of these, we talk about these tightly contested matches, you learn some stuff. You see what other teams are trying to do to you. You see how they're trying to attack you or what they're doing defensively to try to stop the things that you want to do. So those are always good opportunities for growth. And I get it's nice that we've won a few matches, but we can't let that define who we're going to be. We have to still get the lessons learned in spite of the result.
Yeah, the lesson that you guys learned the other night when Nebraska took away a lot of your best stuff and you were able to still figure out a way to win. How important a lesson is, or how vital a lesson is that for a team to learn at this point in the season?
I think it's great to learn that anytime, but I thought they served particularly well. They knocked us out of system a lot. We were scrambling for a big part of the night. And we were able to go to different players at different times, and I thought Sam did a really nice job of managing the offense that way.
Do you know this team was going to be this deep?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm Nostradamus or anything, but we knew that it was different than other teams we've had here. Yeah, we had more depth than we've ever had before. Yeah.
How much does that contribute, Hugh? We've talked about that a little bit in the past, about how the depth of the players fighting to gain or keep position in practice every day. How does that translate into fighting in matches?
Well, I think the quality of practice has been unbelievable, really. I mean, even when it's a bad week, it's still a good week of practice, and I'm talking about the fact that, these are still student athletes that have midterms and, have life outside of the court that they're trying to manage as well, and all the stresses and strains that go with that. So their ability to really kind of cross the line when they come in the gym and make it about the team has been something that I've been most impressed with. So to that end, practices are battles, and they're good battles, not people trying to best one another at each other's expense. They're just there to play good volleyball and improve and get better and push each other. And that kind of environment I find really cultivates not only a healthy respect within the team and a really good connection within the team, but also you've got to try to win a lot of long rallies in practice, and that transfers to winning a lot of long rallies in matches.
Those all sound like hallmarks of a mature team. Are you surprised at all that a team that is as young as yours has that sort of maturity about it to handle things that way?
Well, I think the seniors have done a really good job as leaders of the group, really making sure that the spaces between what we say we want to do as a team and how we're going to do it are really small. And certainly I think those spaces with this group are as small as they've ever been in this program. The words that they use, the things that they talk about, they live them. They're not just saying them, and I think that makes it a little bit easier for everybody. Maturity is not necessarily gauged by a number. I know a lot of people in moderate age that could grow up as well as some 18-year-olds that seem fairly seasoned. So I'm not going to tell you that we expect freshmen to be freshmen. One of the things we do talk to them about is the idea that if you're on the team and if you're living it, if you're working hard and trying to make change and you're out there competing every day and all that stuff and you're being a great teammate, then, you can have a voice in this gym and you should, So I think that idea that it's not particularly hierarchical, that everyone can contribute, I think that probably helps.
Samantha's still getting better.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought she played a really nice match all around the other day. Great on defense. She's holding her own at the net. Thought she served well. And, of course, just the growth I've seen, not so much technically as a setter, but just her decision-making and some of the creativity that she brings to the court is something special. She's pretty unique in that regard.
Similar to Sam, Stephanie came in with a lot of success last season and already halfway through the season. What is she doing to continue to build off that success and to continue to elevate her game?
Well, she's always committed to making improvements and trying to get better, and I think she's raised her base level of play significantly. I really still feel with Stephanie that her best is yet to come. I don't think we've got to a point where we've seen Stephanie, kind of maxed out from the potential that she has, but she's very gifted, obviously, and she's a good volleyball player, and she's able to be very consistent because she has some nice things in place to help her to do that.
Anything else for you?
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers.